Today we're in beautiful San Francisco Bay, across from the city, at Berkeley Marine Center. Well, Cree, I gotta tell you, this boat's looking marvelous. I've been watching it over the last few years as you put it together, and you're really closing in on the completion of this project.
I certainly hope so.
So what's the plan on powering the boat? What's the propulsion system look like?
Well, we have a diesel engine that we were originally planning to put in the boat, a little one, but we've made a change, and we're going to, now that it's available, we're going to go with a hydrogen fuel cell.
Okay.
And do a complete electric propulsion for the boat.
Wow, that's a big change.
Oh, it's a 1,000-pound change.
Because the boat is an ultralight, and you think about every pound you're putting on the boat.
Yeah, we're actually going to be installing an electric propulsion system in here.
Okay.
For something close to 200 pounds.
Wow.
As opposed to nearly 1,000 pounds for diesel.
Yeah.
The secondary change is getting rid of the petroleum products in the boat, and that's one of the one of the goals for a long period of time.
Yeah, I know you feel real strongly about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I'd like to learn a lot more about that.
Well, let's go look at the motor that we're going to be putting in.
Okay, let's do that.
This is the motor that we're going to be putting in the 40-foot race boat. That, coupled with a battery, a small battery pack, the hydrogen fuel cell, and the hydrogen cylinders, is the sum total of all of the power that we're going to need to power the boat to and from the dock, to and from emergencies, and also power all of the electronics that we're going to be running while we're racing. So it's really a power head here that is coupled with a battery, which is kind of old school at this point as far as electric motors are concerned, but we're reducing the amount of battery power that we needed and supplementing the hydrogen fuel cell to make up that difference and get rid of a lot of weight.
Yeah. Now, this part of it here is fairly new, that you've been starting to incorporate in some boats. This, you've had a number of years of experience converting boats to electric, just using a battery system that's either recharged at the dock or by solar panels.
We've done it both with 100% battery. We've done it with batteries and a genset, a diesel genset, and solar as well as wind.
Yeah.
It's interesting, this system, when we get to Hawaii next time, we're going to change the propeller, a folding prop, to a fixed prop, and we'll be able to regenerate electricity with the propeller as we're sailing.
Okay.
So it reduces the amount of hydrogen that we're going to be using, and it reduces also the amount of battery power that we'll need.
Okay. Hey Siri, where can I buy hydrogen near here?
One possibility is hydrogen fueling station on 45th Street in Emeryville.
Well, that's Siri's answer. What's yours, Craig?
Yeah, actually, Fred, you just tipped off a inside scoop there. The ultimate goal here is to be able to produce hydrogen while we're sailing. And if we can miniaturize everything to the point where we can actually develop a hydrogen production unit that's small enough to go on board, then we truly have perpetual motion.
Yeah, because that is taking water basically and breaking it, and the electricity off the panels and breaks it down. We'll go into that a little bit more. I know one of your associates have got some, explanations of that. It's a little mind-boggling, but it's how it all works. But that is much smaller than any diesel would be. What do you think you're saving in the overall weight in the boat? I know weight's very critical on that boat you're building.
It's more than just an advantage for weight. It's a quest that I've been on for 25 years to get rid of petroleum products on sailboats.
Okay.
I just think it's completely unnecessary. And here we're finally in a position where we can prove it.
All right.
And additionally, we're building a lightweight boat. Then why would you add another 1,000 pounds of diesel to accomplish a lightweight boat? It just doesn't
Yeah,
make
because you
sense.
have more battery requirements, you have more fuel.
Yep.
It's, all those things start
Everything
adding up.
adds
The
up.
exhaust
Yeah.
system.
I mean,
everything.
this thing weighs 70 pounds, say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can lift it right now. You can't do that with the equivalent diesel engine.
Right.
That has to be craned in and mounted.
And that would be a 300 or 400 pound motor at least.
At least.
And then everything else that goes with it, exhaust
Never
systems.
mind the exhaust, the fuel.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's the big advantage of this over other fuels and other processes?
Among other things, we're not polluting the atmosphere with this process. The byproduct of this process is water, and we're able to eliminate the diesel and the other byproducts of using oil in our engines, diesel out in the marina. This is actually the true way forward to a clean marina. Fred, let me show you how easy this is. We take the power from the sun, we run it through a big solar array on the roof of this facility. We take the power that we create with that solar array and run it through a bunch of electrolyzers. The idea here is to crack water, split water into component atoms, oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. So we've put energy into that process, and now we store that gas and we can use the energy when we want to. We run it backwards through essentially the same process, putting hydrogen and air. The hydrogen snatches onto the oxygen and creates water as a byproduct and power, which we can use in the propulsion system that we were talking about earlier. We can actually put this hydrogen out on the fuel dock, so we don't have to go to Emeryville.
Great. I look around the marina here, and I have to say there's mostly sailboats here, and I kind of get it now about the hydrogen-powered electrification of these boats. But does it work in the powerboat trades, like this trawler here? It had 2 Lehman 120 motors in the engine. What would be the benefits? Is this something you could do with a hydrogen power?
As a powerboat, you would think that it wouldn't necessarily make sense, but this is a displacement hull. You can see by the propellers that it needs a certain amount of power to get moving, but it never needs to move more than 8 or 9 knots.
Okay.
And we can do that easily with electric propulsion. In doing the transfer on a boat like this, you're taking out these big, heavy diesels. You're taking out 500 gallons of diesel and replacing that weight with batteries, and then charging the batteries with solar, hydrogen fuel cells, or wind generation for that matter. So it makes a lot of sense for boats like this.
Yeah,
We've done other trawlers in the past and put diesel generators in as a hybrid solution.
Right.
This one we're going a step further since the technology is available, and we'll be able to produce enough electricity to run this boat for weeks up in the Delta.
Yeah.
The plan is to have this be the nexus for clean marina hydrogen for every marina and every boater in the Bay Area as they transition to electric propulsion. That's the plan.